So thank you everyone for being here with us. Thank you, Amber, for being here. Super excited. Another beautiful day here. We are going to be talking about decision today. I feel like it's a very, very important topic. You know, that's something that we are faced with on the daily. You have to make a decision. Even not making a decision is a decision.
Mm-hmm.
So, just to kind of start it off, I just want us to just get ourselves kind of comfortable, just be ready to just enjoy, just take all this in. This is all coming from a place of love. We're just sharing our experiences and hopefully to enlighten and help everyone else on their journey as well, and to just make it more enjoyable and more productive altogether and abundant. So, to get started, let's just, like I said, just get cozy in your chair or your wherever you are, and we're just gonna start by taking a couple of intentional breaths. So we're going to make the decision to breathe with intention, just to calm ourselves down, to take all the good that is all around us and for us and waiting for us. Letting go of everything that we don't need at this moment. Enjoy this decision that you have made to just fully commit to enjoying this moment with yourself, to breathe, let go of anything unwanted, and take in all the good that is all around you and abundant to you. Just knowing that whatever you're doing is just perfect. You made the decision and it's the right decision. So, as we soak all that in, going to invite you all back to open your eyes when you feel ready, to just get ready to enjoy the topic of the day, which is decision. Decision. Every day we are, like I was saying before, we have decisions to make on the daily. So many decisions. So it's like sometimes, not making a decision is also a decision, which can lead you to creating a habit of not living in your full power. I'm going to put it that way because
Mm.
making a decision really is truly, truly powerful if we think about it. Like when we truly decide, like, this is what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? That's super, super powerful. And that's like really tapping into imagination. So really owning that power of that decision that you're making and just seeing what it is that you are going for. So definitely want to encourage everyone to kind of start getting on that type of frequency with me as far as decision making, because it was a decision that you made to be here with me today, and it's like, why did I do this? So you're gonna find out. Decision making can be kind of challenging. I would love to hear what do you feel about decision, Amber?
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. First of all, you guys are gonna see me transition little by little, okay? Little by little, you're gonna see me being my full best self. But you know what? I'll tell you something. I think that's one of the things that I do want to promote is being yourself. Be yourself. And that's a decision that I'm making. Cause I could have say, hey, don't record until I get ready, right? And even prior to us getting here, I seen my face and I was like, oh, Zoom has like something that helps me, with my skin. But I'll tell you something, it's a choice. We get to choose, right? And because we have a magnitude of options, it can be very challenging to make a decision sometimes, especially when you're choosing a decision and you don't even understand where it's coming from. For example, if I would have made the decision like, hey, you know what, I just don't enjoy that my blemishes show, and I get a little insecure, XYZ, we would have not done it here. But I make the executive decision to say, you know what, Amber? This is your true, authentic, raw self. You are not ugly because you have some blemishes, or you're not ugly because you have textured skin, and you're not ugly because you have freckles. It does not make you ugly. I just simply have the choice to make myself look like a freaking porcelain doll, right? And and so it's like, why not? But at the end of the day, this is a decision that I made a decision to sit here with the uncomfort. Because I'll tell you something. Yeah, Zoom may help me in many ways, right? Like I was telling you, sometimes you could be a little tired or your black bags, and Zoom won't really show it because it kind of has like this way of it doesn't really filter out your face, but it does sort of give like some blur look to it. So it doesn't magnify like the textured skin that you may have or the black bags, right? But at the end of the day, when you see me in person, you're not gonna see me with that fucking Zoom filter on, right?
Hmm.
So stepping on here, making that decision to be uncomfortable is for myself, and not only for that, but like um the ego, right? The ego of like, I have to look a certain way, or I have to be pretty, or I have to this, or before I hop on I have to. And it's like, no, no. What is the true purpose of what I am trying to convey as a message? And that is authenticity, right? Being authentic with yourself. What does that mean? It means kind of like this decision that I made to have to sit here with the uncomfort and say, hey, but this is my authentic self. I can't do shit about it. Like, I could go and probably put on some like plaster, or let me not say that because people wear makeup and they're going to get mad. But I can, go put on some foundation, and I can go do this, and I can go do that, and I it will help me, right? It'll help clear out some blemishes and some red marks, or whatever the case may be. But that's not me. At the end of the day, it's got to come off, right? Or I have to put it on every single morning. So that's not me. It's a preference. It's a decision that we make. We choose to put on makeup, or we choose to put on the filter, but that's not me. So, as uncomfortable as it was at first, because now I'm looking at myself and I'm like, damn, girl, you are cute.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
All
like,
day, every day. Yes.
thank you, hon. Thank you. So, and I just want to make sure that I kind of promote that, because one of the things that I had the toughest time with was loving myself and accepting myself. And the decisions that we make in life will take us down a path where we may forget all the work we already did. Because that decision requires a whole new version of yourself. And that whole new version of yourself has to, in a sense, think a little bit different than the way that I was thinking. And I think that we have so many options, right? And I think that that can also be a struggle on why people may not know how to make a decision. But I'll tell you my favorite. My favorite is, we don't know how to make a decision because we weren't really given the choice when we were younger to make a decision for ourselves. And that, I call it my favorite, because that's what I like to work on, right? I like to dig deep in myself and be like, okay, Amber, why do I not know how to make a decision? And I'm referring to what university you're going to go to. You got accepted to two of them. And now you're like, I don't know which one, right? Mom, which one should I go to? Dad, which one should I go to? Oh, this one has a basketball team, or that one has a basketball team, but this one's a better, GPA rating, or graduating rate, or whatever the case may be, right? But it's like, we were not given the power of decision when we were younger. We were given the power of choice. And that's different because sometimes, at least for me, they would say, okay, we're going to go to the park or the beach, right? Just an example.
Mm-hmm.
But my decision was that I didn't want to go nowhere. I had already made that decision that I didn't want to go anywhere. I didn't want to go to the park because my parents were going to go play volleyball and they were going to drink and they were going to have fun, but I was not going to have fun because I had no one to play with. Or we were going to go to the beach and they were going to do the exact same thing but in a different location. So my decision is to stay home, but I didn't have that decision was not an option for me. That's for me personally. When I think about it, I'm like, why do I not know how to make a decision? And I go back and I analyze myself and I'm like, well, Amber, because you weren't given the permission to make a decision. You had choices to choose from. You didn't get to decide what were the choices for you, right? They decided for me that I was going to go out regardless, or they decided for me that I had to eat even though I didn't like this type of food, right? They made a decision for me that uh, I couldn't have a sleepover because they were going to go do something or whatever the case may be. I never slept over anyways, girl, just so you know. But and so that's me. That's the way that I see it personally. I think that one, we're inundated with so much information, we don't even know what to choose. Two, we already have a lack of discipline when it comes to making a decision because, first of all, we don't even know what we want. And then when we do figure out what we want, we can't make a decision because maybe it's too expensive, maybe it's too far, maybe it's not ideal. And it boils down to asking for permission. Asking for permission to your bank account. Asking for permission to your job. Asking for permission to your spouse or your partner. It never boils down to us really being able to make that full committed decision for ourselves, not caring what people are going to say, what the bank is going to say, what the job is going to say. We don't really have that. We're, even the school system, you have to ask for permission to make the decision to go pee. Really? I gotta go pee. Can I go pee? What do you mean? Isn't that something you feel? You
Wow.
decide to get up and go pee. So, and then what happens? You're in a job, right? A 9 to 5. Excuse me. Can I have 3 days off? Right? We can never make a decision for ourselves. So that's
Dang.
just kind of my way of seeing it.
That is really, really deep. Yeah. I kind of definitely resonate with you on the fact that what you said about parenting, because it is very true. It is choices that we give our children. Just looking at my behavior, for sure, I can definitely say that I do that. As I will say that that is something that I am working on changing, because I do find it too. It's still like it's too much. Like you said, it's too many options.
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit on what you said, right? About as a parent how we do that. And I say we because there are times from time to time that I catch myself. I can tell you that one of the easiest ways for me to just step back from that and giving my kids a choice is I just literally tell them, what do you want? That's it. I don't give them no choice. What do you want to eat? Oh, I don't know. Okay. Well, think in your mind of all the options that you have that you like, that you want to eat. But you need to tell me because as soon as I'm done picking up your sisters, it's your turn. And I know some parents will be like, oh, but I am not willing to do that. Right? Some parents are they're not willing. And I say that because I was that parent at first. Right? Before I had my awakening, before I realized the way that I was repeating these cycles, you know, I used to do that. Like, oh, we're all gonna go eat here. Oh, I want tacos. We all want fucking tacos. So figure out what you want from the tacos because we're gonna go to the tacos. And you know what I've been doing lately these past few years, and I think it might be inconvenient when it comes to the drive and the gas and maybe spending a little extra money. Um But if I want tacos, I'm gonna get tacos. I don't care what my kids want to eat. I'm gonna get tacos, right? And so I tell them, okay, papi or mommy, we're gonna go get lunch. I want some tacos, right? That is the I want, the me. I know what I want, making the decision. I want some tacos. Do you want something from the tacos or do you want something else? I don't give them another uh choice. They get to choose their own choices in their mind, you know? And so when sometimes she'll be like, "No, mom, I want a salad from Jeffrey's or something." Right? I like a Jeffrey's salad out here. And or sometimes my son will be like, "No, mommy, I want sushi." And I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I'll just get some sushi with you and I'm not going to get these tacos." Right? Because now he has given me another idea of like I love sushi too, and if he's going to have sushi, we can eat sushi together, right? But I allowed him to choose for himself. I allowed him to see the choices that are available to him based on his palate, based on his desire, based on his craving for the day. Sometimes, girl, I do 3 trips. Sometimes I go get me some tacos. Sometimes I go get him some sushi. Sometimes my daughter's just like, I want a Jamba Juice. Sure, let's go get your Jamba Juice. Right? And then and some people might see that as in like, wow, like you do all that for your kids. I do that for me. I do it for my kids. I do it for me because I'm not about to fucking one be arguing with my kids about food and eat your food and why don't you eat your food and why don't you like your food. You're just nagging at your poor kids. You're not even allowing them to eat the freaking food comfortable. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Mhm.
and I'm doing it for me because my ego says don't fucking drive all over the place. Why do they have to eat different things? It's my ego that says that. But it's like no, that's why I'm doing it for me because if I want to be the best parent that in my soul, I feel I can be, who's to tell me that I'm doing the wrong thing or the right thing? I know that I'm
Exactly.
doing the opposite of what my parents did. I said that I would do the opposite of what my parents did, and that is what I'm doing. And if I turned out to be pretty decent with the options I had and the decisions that were made for me, then I could just imagine what my children's adulthood will look like, you know. And I'm not saying I'm the most perfect. They're gonna fall. It's part of their journey to fall, to discover some pain so that they can discover love and happiness. So they're gonna have to go through their turmoil. Shit, if they don't fall, I'll fucking push them. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers gotta
Yeah.
fall. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it. You got to feel it, you
You
know.
do. And that's how you kind of learn through some of the decisions that you make too, as far as like, oh, that wasn't a good decision. So yeah, let me not be doing that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
feel like definitely what you're saying is a beautiful thing because that kind of also, while you were talking, I saw it as really building character and to not really be so much influence because like you know what you want like at such a strong at a young age like that's built in you so strongly that you know all these choices like I this is what I want like I know what I. The other thing about decision that I wanted to touch on is how do you feel about so sometimes there's decisions that you have to make, right? How do you make a decision when you don't really know? Like, how do you face those challenges? Because I know sometimes, you know, there's things that show up and you're like, you know, I really don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. Like, you're just like, what do I do? Like, how do you, like, what have you done that has helped you, like, overcome that, like, block, basically?
Mm. You know what? That's a great question, and the reason that I think that's a great question is because I I I still have a lot. I have a lot of work, you guys. A lot of work. Okay. I still have I'm a work in process, and I say
Aren't we
process.
all?
I don't say progress because we are already perfect within. It's just the process. It's the process, right? The process of identifying that greatness within us. But I would say, for me, I am definitely being challenged right now, without talking about anything. But I am definitely being challenged right now because I know that I should be making, and then here it goes, I should be making a decision, right? Based on the type of activities that I put myself through and the programs and stuff like that. Um, I know I should be making a decision, yet a certain decision hasn't been made. And I still cannot tell you why have I not made this decision, but I can tell you that, like you said, not making a decision is a decision. And one thing that I will say is that even if you don't make a decision, every decision is going to lead you to another decision. So eventually, a decision will be made. Eventually, the decision will be made, right? And I know you know, Misty, what I'm talking about. We are not put, we are in a situation that we put ourselves in, that we have to be making, we have to be making these decisions for ourselves because of what we put ourselves into, right? And although we feel like we've made these decisions, it's like, yeah, we made a commitment to join. We made the commitment to explore. I don't know if we really made the decision to fulfill that role,
Yeah.
right? And because, seeing it from that perspective, the decision, right? Or the fact that we did not make a decision has led us to this decision that we're here, right? So
Yes.
regardless, every decision is going to take you and is going to lead you to another decision. So I that's why I truly believe there's no right or wrong. And there's this one thing that I love that Peter Crone says. Okay, Peter Crone, he calls himself the mind architect. He is amazing. I have done some work with him. And what he says is, there is absolutely no way things could not have happened any other way, because they just could not have happened any other way, right? Something within those, yeah, when you think about it, it's it relieves that stress and that anxiety of, did I do the right thing? Did I make the right choice? Did I say the right thing? Did I all of these, just all the choices, right? Like all the choices all of a sudden are around your bed. Like, you should have chose me, or if you would have chose me, I would have taken you to here first, or ew, you know what I'm saying? Just a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, you know what? Things happen the way that they were supposed to happen because there's absolutely no other way they could have happened. It allows you to
Hmm.
just say, hey, you know what, ego, step to the side. You are prideful. You are, egotistic. You are the one that wants life to be different. But if you just simply accept it for what it is, you start to live in gratitude, and you just realize, like, hey, you know what? It doesn't matter what people have. And now we're stepping into this decision that we've made. And guess what? This decision is going to lead us to another decision. Right? Whether that is
Yes.
someone wanting to sponsor us, whether that is someone saying, "Hey, you know what? We want to invite you to our show," or whatever the case may be, there's going to be more decisions down the line. So, yeah, yeah, I don't even know where I was going with that, but
No, that's
mhm.
beautiful.